After coming home, Pick wasn't too happy with the pictures of the pyramid he'd taken. He wanted an inside look of it, so he decided to return to the pyramid. Grabbing his camera, he walked down the road. "Here it is," said Pick. The pyramid of New Francis was directly in front of Zeusville. Now we just need a way inside. Pick carefully walked into a small crack into the pyramid. It was just enough for him to fit. "I'm in," he said proudly. "Believe it or not, but this pyramid has a lower floor with a real mummy in it. I just don't know how to get down there, though. I've heard stories it has a bunch of booby traps." All these thoughts were whizzing through his mind. He had second thoughts about doing this. After all, it could really be dangerous. "I'm honestly risking my life doing this," he said with a shaky voice. He didn't know what to do. "Maybe I should go back," he said. He was very reluctant about continuing when at that moment, it happened. He stepped on a booby-trap door set by the ancients long ago, making the descent down into the basement area of the pyramid. Luckily, he fell on a patch of soft sand with a single yellow flower in it somehow. "Well, I guess that's how you get in the basement then. Also, how's a flower growing down here? That should be impossible." Baffled by the strange sight, he grabbed the flower for good luck. He thought it was special to him somehow. He saw something shiny in the corner of the sandy room. Gold? Nope, not gold, but instead another flower peeking out from the corner. It was certainly strange how flowers were growing inside of a pyramid, and not to mention the underground basement of the pyramid. It made no sense. He had to get out of there before he'd go crazy. He walked forward to his sandy door with some strange switch-like object covered in sand beside it. He blew off the sand, and it was actually a switch that opened the door to the next room. In this room, there were weird hieroglyphic drawings and words on the wall. Luckily, he brought a decoder with him on his journey and decoded the messages. One said, "The Keeper is here," and another said, "The one who created the portal, the Keeper, will guide us." This is all too weird and cool at the same time. There was another opening in the wall that led to a room with a coffin. "Nope, not happening," said Pig as he backed out of the room. He continued down the rooms with openings. He was hoping to find some sort of exit or ladder, or anything really. He was desperate to get out of there. It was so dark and scary down there. Finally, he found a room with marble-like stairs leading up to the pyramid. "Yes!" he exclaimed. He ran up the stairs so fast that he didn't even notice he tripped a hidden wire trap. Luckily, it didn't do anything, and he made it up. He made it out through the very same hole he entered. The sun was such a beautiful sight. He was only down there for 50 minutes, but finally seeing the sun again delighted him. He looked up at the beautiful sky and realized night was falling. "I need to get home," he said. He went down the road to his house and opened the gate to the secluded upper residence. Zeus, still doing tests on his cure, had decided to test it on himself. This was very risky, of course, but he thought he would pull through with it. He injected the Zeusville disease into his body. It slowly seeped into his veins. The Zeusville disease was never given a proper name. Residents feared that it existed, and that's all that mattered in Zeusville at the time. The symptoms of it were lethal, almost killing people hours after it's taken its host. It started with coughing, then came the random bleeding from legs and arms. Sharp pains, like knives being stuck into your stomach, would come after, and the pain would get so severe that you would pass away. It was truly awful. The coughing started 10 minutes after injection. Zeus had to be quick. He used the cure and hoped to God it would save him like it did the footman. He realized that he made a mistake. He regretted this. An hour later, Zeus couldn't stay still. He was pacing back and forth. This could be the end of his life. Luckily, the pain left his body. The cure worked its magic, and he was saved. At 9:45, Pick was watching TV and eating some popcorn he made. It felt so good to be relaxed after what he went through an hour earlier. Today was an exciting and interesting day for him. The dance club was hosting the Halloween event, the Monster Mash. Everyone who went there were dressing up and dancing in Halloween costumes. This happened every year, but Pick didn't realize it was today, so he didn't show up that year. Zeus was still celebrating his cure's success. He didn't show up either. Vernon, Keem, Trin, Bass W were all dressed up as part of food. Vernon was the french fries, Bass W was the ketchup, Keem and Trin were hamburger parts like meat and buns. At least 30 people showed up there that year, and they all had a great time. The event lasted until 10:45 p.m. Everyone partied hard, and by the time it was over, everyone wanted to go to sleep. Everyone who came had great costumes. Someone even dressed as Burly. The music was so loud that Zeus could hear it from inside his lab. He didn't let this distract him. He had to get to Zeusville, clean up the acid spills, and deploy the cure. He climbed out of the lab and started down the road to the shops. When he got to the shops, he kept going forward into the swamp and went into the lake. "It's time," he says, and he jumps into the water. He swims down through the crack in the wall and continued up into another crack which led up into Zeusville. He had a gas mask to prevent him from any toxic air, and his backup kept an extra bottle of the cure in his waterproof backpack. It was time to save his home. "I've yearned for this day for years, and it's finally happening," he said excitedly. He walked past the destroyed buildings that littered the land. He walked up to the hospital, which was kind of ironic to have in Zeusville, considering the doctor was supposed to find the cure first, right? He used some special cleaning tools to remove the acid spills. The acid spills were gone. Perfect. Now all he needed to do was go inside the hospital and dump the cure in the air filter. He stepped inside and saw all the rusted metal pieces of machinery and more. The air filter of the hospital pumped steam into the air, and all Zeus had to do was dump the cure's fluid inside of it, and Zeusville would be saved.